Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally with day 9 of our 12 days of Christmas. And I'm so excited about this one because it is Thrifted Christmas. And you know I thrift all my stuff from the good table at the dump. So we're going to start with this beautiful little wooden bucket. And I am just going to stick some floral foam in the bottom so that I can take some greenery and fill some of this in. This tall greenery I think I got at Temu last year, and then I snipped off some pieces of a Christmas garland that had pine cones in it. Now, I have had this adorable little gingerbread man in my stash for a number of years, and I thought that he would be the perfect little embellishment to make this little basket or box look Christmassy. And then I have one of these lights that you have to put batteries in, and then you just screw the bottom back on and it blinks, looks like a little candle. So I am pushing that right into the foam and just adding a few embellishments from my stash that look a little bit primitive country, a little bit of birch, a little bit of pine cone, a little bit of rusty bell. I have some cranberry colored berry garland, and I have a rusted star. So all the things that I think are going to help this to look a little bit more Christmas and a little bit more primitive country. And then I am going to add a little bit of snow to give this more of a wintry feel. But before we continue on, today's collaboration is day 9 of the 12 Days of Christmas, hosted by Brenda and Krista. Their channel links will be in my description box with a playlist of all the other creators who have joined into this collaboration. So make sure you check that out when you're done here and don't miss day 12. I haven't done 10 and 11 yet, so I don't know how good they're going to be, but day 12 is awesome. So make sure you hit subscribe and check that out. Added that star, a little bit of fabric onto that star, and just pushed all those embellishments in so that I could fill any of the gaps. And then once that is finished, I just took out some white paint and went ahead and specifically concentrating on the pine cones and on the greenery. I want to get some snow on that to brighten it up because it does have a lot of dark colors in it and to make it look a little bit more Christmassy. And then I'm going to hit a couple of the items a little bit on the little gingerbread man and on the star to just make this look like it had gotten snowed on. So this is my first of today's thrift flips or Thrifted Christmas, and here it is on the top of my armoire in my living room with all of my yellowware, and I love it. But let me know what you think. I think the color tones look so good with that corner of my home, which is definitely more primitive country. So that came out so sweet, but oh my goodness, wait until you see this one. I found this light at the dump, brought it home. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. So I unscrewed the top and the wired part, put it all back together. I took that part right back to the good table at the dump because all I needed was the glass dome. Then I washed that really good and removed the rubber gasket that was around the neck of it. And I took out a wood round and a couple of different sized Christmas trees. And I added 3 of those trees on toward the back of that Christmas round. And then I went into my stash to see what else I would have for this. And I had a couple of birch sticks that we had for one of the earlier, I forget which day it was, but I used for one of the earlier projects in this 12 Days of Christmas. And so I decided to go ahead and beside the little forest to add a little pile of birch logs. And so I just glued those right in. And then I wanted to add some snow. So I have these little styrofoam ball snow, and man, they get everywhere. They stick everywhere. You got to be real careful with this. But I just went ahead and added a little bit of glue and a little bit of snow onto specifically the pile of birch as well as around it. And then this is the absolute sweetest little snow baby I had in my stash. And this was the very reason that I wanted to make this adorable snow globe, because I knew I had him and I thought, how cute will this be? So I added that, and then I wanted to fill the globe itself with some snow. And I used some glittery snow that I had on hand and glued that onto the bottom, and realized I had way too much snow. I almost buried everything. So then I had to undo it and dump out half the snow and do it all over again. And then once I had that the way that I liked it, I had in my stash from my husband some finials from the clocks that he does. And so I decided to take this beautiful finial. It had a little chip in it, but that was fine by me. And to cut off and make the bottom flat. And I just sanded that with my hand sander. And then I took some watered down antiquing wax and brushed that all over the wood, not the base of it because I knew I was going to glue it on, but everywhere else, to get that a nice uniform dark color that would look a little bit more like the darker wood slice on the bottom. And then I just glued that right on top of the globe. And oh my goodness, this is the absolute sweetest. He looks like he's delighted that it's snowing, and I love it. And my granddaughter loves it. And I just think it is the cutest little thing. So you'll have to let me know what you think about item number 2. I thought it was so cute that I liked it enough to put it on my mantle. If you hadn't seen my mantle, that was in one of the other days this week, but oh my gosh, how sweet. Now that takes me on to item number 3, and I love this as well. Yes, this was on the good table at my dump. So I just took a wipe and wiped the whole thing nice and clean, and it just needed a battery to make it work. I don't know, some people throw everything away. And so I went through my stash, and I had some little green sisal left over from making Christmas trees last year, and so I just wanted to make a little bit of a nest. So I glued some of that on the bottom front of the cover. I guess you'd call it a camera cover. And then I added some Spanish moss and some green moss onto this to make this more of a little nest. Then I pulled out a little bit of boxwood greenery to add a little bit of greenery in there. And then I decided it needed a little pop of something a little more white because it is a little dark. And so I added some frosted greenery, and then I picked off some of those little red styrofoam berries and added a little bit of red pops here and there because, of course, this is a Christmas DIY. And then once I had all of those little Christmassy embellishments filling up the nest, I had found the same day on the good table at the dump this cute little red cardinal. And didn't his little wired feet fit perfectly on the top of these little nubs of the camera? So I just wrapped those around the top of the camera and added him right on top. And oh my goodness, this is so cute. Then I added a little bit of glue to keep him on there, and then I took a little bit more of the boxwood greens and just kind of tucked that around his feet to bring a pop of the green color up top. And I think that this came out so cute. I decided to make just a little sign to go on the front, and I had a cute little candy cane tiny clothespin that I could clip on, and I put the camera, my husband had a battery for the camera. I put that all back together again, so now the actual clock portion of that works, and it is sitting on my hutch, and I am in love with it. The funniest thing about doing this, every year I actually recreate all new items for my home, and then when I go digging through my crafts that I made last year, I'm like, now I have so many things I've got to get rid of. But it is just so fun. Each year you come up with a new idea or a new theme or something, and it's just a blast to do this to decorate your home. So if the 12 days of Christmas did anything for me, it got my house decorated for Christmas. And hopefully it gave you a lot of ideas of things that you you can create for your own home very, very frugally if you are able to maybe thrift something like this, or you already have something like these items in your stash. So I am so glad that you have joined me for part or all of these 12 days of Christmas. I hope that you will stay tuned. I am going to have to work on days 10 and days 11 because I don't yet have them done. But I do know I love day 12, so make sure you don't miss it. Check out the other creator channels in the playlist, and thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.